Hello, welcome. We're going to talk about Inkblot number 2. Yes, that is correct. It is, in fact, the second one, the second issue. And guess what? What you see on the cover is essentially in the book, Truth in Advertising. In comic books, you gotta love it. You gotta love it when comic books actually depict what the cover says they're going to depict. Now, if you remember the first issue, a lot of it was just kind of like setting up the setting. Very much started out to look like, how do I put it? Like a coming of age story for the main character. And the main character was this librarian, the chronicler of all the adventures of her siblings. They were all like sorcerer, king, god type figures. They're like demigods or something. They roll around adventuring. She keeps track of it all. And she falls asleep, knocks over some stuff, and boom! This magical, perfectly inky dark cat, which I guess we could just name Inkblot, because it's right there on the cover, gets born and proceeds to kind of go on an adventure, get into trouble. And that's the setup for this. Now, we cut in a different place entirely with these elves, and I think these are the same characters that are the like demigod sorcerer kings. They pop in, they're like, "You have been recruited to serve us." So they're basically kidnapping the queen. And there's the queen's daughter up there. And things kind of, well, they are what they are. Now the cat rolls in to that place. And that's actually the granddaughter of the queen that was kidnapped. And they're getting ready to, well, there's a haunted cave. People are ready. They're going to have a throwdown. A throwdown with what, you might ask? How about a giant dragon? And I gotta say, I like some of the stuff about these panels, man. That right there, I know it doesn't actually show the dragon. I thought that panel was pretty cool because you see all the elves arrayed down here. Now they're using wooden weapons, wooden swords, wooden armor, all that kind of stuff. Not exactly the kind of gear that you would think you would want to take into a fight with, a dragon. In fact, you can see it's kind of not going so well for him over here. It's a pretty desperate battle. There's the daughter from the beginning. She's grown up. She's the queen now. There's the granddaughter, and they're fighting the dragon, and the fight doesn't go well for them. And then the cat rolls in, and stuff happens. I'm not going to talk about any of that stuff after this. In fact, having read this, I'm not quite sure. How do I phrase it? I'm not quite sure how to say what the point of this issue was. Which is a weird thing to say, right? It's the second issue. The point should be pretty obvious. It should be some kind of follow up from the first one. And it is from the cat's perspective, as opposed to the perspective of the character that I thought was the main character. So now, I don't know how long this series is supposed to run. So now I'm kind of thinking it's really going to be two kind of coming of age stories. One for the character from the first issue, and one for the granddaughter here, the princess of this elf tribe. Because the cat's intervention in the elves' fight with the dragon here changes the course of their history, changes the course of their philosophy, and it sets them on to a collision path. It sets her on a path towards the character from the first book. So I think they're going to kind of come together, and things are going to happen based on that. Not quite sure where it's going to go from there. But this was a pretty fun, fast read. There wasn't like a whole lot of stuff that left me scratching my head. In fact, I think the only thing that left me scratching my head was understanding who these two characters were. That was it. Everything else made a lot of sense. As much sense as a fantasy story about a magical ink black cat that may or may not be made of magical ink can get. I'm looking. Yeah, there's on the very first page is the only check-in from the main character of the book in the form of these two narration boxes talking about how the cat has vanished, and then we lead into that stuff with the sorcerer king people rolling in, kidnapping the queen, and da 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 da. It's some intriguing stuff. I'm very curious to see where it goes. The art's nice, the writing is nice. I have no real complaints about it. I just wish it more obviously tied into the first issue and presented more of a coherent A, B, C. We're going down the alphabet plot line as opposed to like we have A and then we've jumped over here to Q. You know? Maybe you don't know. But I know what I mean by that, and that's all that really matters. You all take care of yourselves. You have a great day. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good, good stuff. Sure hope to see you again next time. Until then, bye bye.